And today we're going to talk about a place that maybe many of you don't know much about, but it's a really interesting part of the country. It's and I'll go ahead and pull up the presentation. So bear with me just for a second. There we go. We're going to talk about Denver, the city, and also the state of Colorado. Now, that's not a place that maybe you've really heard a lot about, but it's an amazing part of the country. So let's get started. So here's our map of the United States. And just so you all know where I am up here. I'm in Olympia, Washington, which is just a little bit south of Seattle, Washington. And this is the state of Washington. And here is our crazy little district of Columbia, Washington, D.C. And I'm way over here. So yeah, all the way across the United States. Some other cities, for those of you who are like maps, the big city of Chicago is located here. And many Ukrainians, oh my, lots of Ukrainians living in Chicago. Also, a lot of Ukrainians living here in New York City. New York City is an enormous Ukrainian and Russian population. Of course, down in Florida, oh, nice beach weather this time of year. People out on the, swimming and out on the beach. And of course, over here in California, San Francisco, which we talked about last week, and Los Angeles, which I'm sure most of you know about. That's pretty nice weather this time of year too. And just so you know, and Christy, I wanted to tell you for sure, Barbara and I are in the process of buying a house in Tucson, Arizona. We made an offer on a house this week and it looks like it's going to work. So sometime in the next few months, we're going to be spending more time down in Tucson, Arizona.
So will you move there or just for vacation time?
Yeah, we're going to have two places. We're going to have a place here in Washington State and then a place in Tucson. Certainly for the winter months, in Tucson, this time of year, oh, beautiful weather. Oh, it's 20 degrees, it's sunny. Yeah, it's nice. And up here in Seattle, not so much. Weather is a little colder and rainier and darker and all of those things. So yeah, there's our review of where we're going to talk about. So this is the state of Colorado. It's a big state, but it's not really near some of the famous places. So not a lot of people don't end up going there. This is the state of Texas. And the state of Texas is about the same size as Ukraine. So, just sort of, okay, Ukraine, Texas. So Colorado, you can see, not as big, but pretty big. Yeah, it's a pretty big state. And it's an amazing place. It has amazing natural nature, amazing scenery. So here's the state map. And you can see it's almost like two states. It's almost like two places. You've got this west side, which is all big mountains. And some of you may have heard of the mountains. They're called the Rocky Mountains. And they're really famous in the United States. The Rocky Mountains. And then this side is not mountainous, and this is where the agriculture is. This area looks like Ukraine. This looks like you're driving from Colorado to anywhere. And so this area is very different than this area. We're going to talk about both today, and we're also going to talk about the city of Denver, which is a big city. It's similar in size to Kiev. It's close to the same size city. So that's what we're going to talk about. So here we go. This is what a lot of Colorado looks like. I mean, it is absolutely gorgeous. Big Rocky Mountains, snow in the winter, beautiful forests, lots of rivers and streams. I mean, if you like being outdoors, Colorado is a great place to go, particularly if you like winter sports like skiing, skating, you know, all of those things that we do outdoors in the winter months. These mountains are just amazing. They're absolutely beautiful. And it seems like they're everywhere. Everywhere you drive around that part of the state, you see mountains everywhere. In fact, there are 70 mountains that are above 4,000 meters in height. And that's the most in the United States. No other state has that many really big mountains. And there's a website that I found here that's pretty interesting. It actually lists them. There's all 70 mountains, and the names and the height in meters and its location and all that. So that was kind of interesting. So yeah, 4,000 meter mountains. Another word that we use for mountain in America is peak, P-E-A-K. So Colorado, 4,000 meter peaks. So here's a big picture, a map of North America. And you can see from Alaska all the way down into Mexico, these Rocky Mountains. You know, the Rocky Mountains don't stop at the border of the United States. They go way up into Canada and all the way down into New Mexico or into Mexico. So as you can see, it's very mountainous in this part of the country and not so much in this part of the country. A few facts and figures. Colorado population, 5.8 million people. So not that many people for such a big place, but the city has 3 million people. So, you know, that's quite a few. And the funny part, whoops, let me back up. I'm sorry about that. There we go. But there are, the joke is there are 3 million cows in the state, in the state of Colorado. So there are a lot of cows and a lot of people. The population of Denver is almost 3 million people, 2.9 million. And the state is named, it has its origin in the Spanish language, because that part of the United States was originally settled by Spain. And so the Spanish language, it was for colored red. And in Spanish, it's color rojo. Rojo is how you pronounce that. Any Spanish speakers on the call today? Okay. Espanol, yeah. So color rojo sort of over time became Colorado. So you can sort of imagine that. So this is a pretty interesting map. This shows the state of Colorado, and it shows the population density. Density means how many people are in an area. Is it a real quiet area, or is it, you know, lots of people living close together? And as the colors get darker to red, there's more population. So in Denver, you know, you can see a lot of red, but way out here in the mountains, oh my goodness, not many people. You can see much of this area, and we use a mile like we talked about. We're crazy. We don't use kilometers. We use something called a mile, which is about another 60% larger than a kilometer. And you can see this area, very few people live out here, very few. Most people are in the cities. Again, a lot of the countryside looks like this. I mean, it's just beautiful. Yeah, it's a beautiful part of the country. A little bit like Zakarpattia, you know, a little bit like going into the Carpathian Mountains. Yeah, yeah. And the big high peaks, you know, of the Rocky Mountains. Wow. Wow. I mean, just amazing. It's really, really pretty. And then this is the eastern side of the state. You know, this looks a little bit more like Ukraine. You know, you have, you know, long up and down, big hills that go up and down, lots of agriculture, lots of wheat, lots of corn, lots of grains being grown, and of course, lots of cows, lots of milk. So now we're going to talk about one of the things that makes Denver really special. It has a huge children's hospital. It's just for kids. It's not for adults. And it serves 6 states. So the states around Colorado, if they have a child that really needs help, special medical help, they go to this hospital. And it's a really famous part of the city of Denver. This is the hospital. All of these buildings. Yeah. Wow. Right? Unbelievable place. This is what it looks like inside. Yeah. Дуже непогано, так?
Дуже.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty amazing. I love these little wagons. You know, they pull the kids around in these little wagons. It's just a great idea. And every room, every care room, patient room, is a private room, one bed in the room. So that way the family, you know, can come and spend time with them while they're in the hospital. And of course, it's very modern, you know, all of the new modern conveniences of a hospital. Really great surgery rooms, great operating rooms, you know, all the best stuff. And one of the things that Barbara and I are so proud of, our son is a doctor there. This is our son, Chris. And this is his wife, Jen, who also works at the hospital. And of course, this is their little guy, Wes. He's our grandson. And Chris and Jen work at the hospital. So we are very proud. And of course, you can't imagine living in the state of Colorado without going skiing, because that is what you do if you live in that state. Chris and Jen and Wes, they all go skiing all the time. Every weekend, they go up to the mountains. And like most people who live there, they are out on the ski areas. And of course, there are so many of them. There are just so many places to ski. And many of them are really big. You know, they have these fancy gondolas that take people up to the top of the mountain. And, you know, this is just one area called Breckenridge. And you can see all the different ski slopes at just one mountain. And there are more than 100 ski areas in the state of Colorado, way more than 100. And they look like this, these beautiful little towns, beautiful places for people to stay or live. And then they're surrounded by these amazing mountains. The only place that I can think of that's like it is in the Alps, you know, in Switzerland, in France, in Austria, in Italy. It's similar, but there are even more ski areas here than there are in those countries. Here's a map of the largest ski areas. These are the big ones, the ones that people know about. And as you can see, they're everywhere. They're all over the place. There's ski areas everywhere. And many of them are not far from Denver, the big city. So you can get into your car and drive an hour and you are skiing. So it is very convenient. Here's another map that shows, this is a Google map, obviously, and it shows, again, the largest ski areas. These are the really big ones, and they're just all over the place. One of the most famous ones is a place called Aspen, Colorado, and it's absolutely enormous. It's a huge ski area. It has so many different places to ski. And it's a really famous ski resort. And this is what it looks like. I mean, it's a great place. And you can see they create these areas in the forest for people to ski. They clear it out. So you take your pick. You ride the chair lift up to the top, and then you sort of choose the one that you want to ski on. You know, which hill do you like? So yeah, it's pretty great. That's you, Christy, right there. That's you. That's right there. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah.
So is anyone on the call today? Is anyone a skier? Or do any of you go skiing over to Western Ukraine?
Yeah, I really like ski in our Bukovyl.
Yeah, Bukovyl. Yeah, I've been there. Yeah.
Yeah, you also have been there?
I have.
Bukovyl? Yeah,
I have.
also very nice place to ski, very beautiful nature, yeah.
It's beautiful.
But I definitely want to visit Denver and ski near Denver.
This is the place to ski, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you know, over the years, as a matter of fact, Christy and I were talking about this a few weeks ago. I've visited 18 oblasts in Ukraine.
Wow.
I know, I couldn't believe it. 18. I started to add them up.
Even I, as a resident of Ukraine, don't visit such many places in our country.
I feel the same for Jeff. Yeah, the same. I've been just in some oblasts and nothing else.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, I started to add them up several weeks ago, and I said, "Oh my goodness, I've been to 18 oblasts." You know,
and what oblast do you prefer more? What oblast you like more than?
Колорадо oblast, конечно, of course. I mean, you know, come on.
I'm not sure that you are true now.
Oh no, you know, it's for me, it really is true, because for me, it's about the people. You know, it's about the people that you meet, and you know, I can't imagine a country that has more friendly people than Ukraine. Ukraine has so many wonderful people who are such great hosts. They welcome you with open arms. And so I'm, Колорадо Oblast is my favorite place to visit.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's nice to hear.
Absolutely. So of course, you know, skiing is the big thing, but also mountain climbing and hiking and camping and all of these things. I mean, this is the place to do it. If you like being outdoors in nature, Colorado is the absolute place to be. Yeah, there you go. There you are, Nellie. That's you right there, Nellie. You're just waiting to go up the next hill. And a great place just to hike. You know, you don't have to climb mountains. Just put on a backpack and take a walk through the nature. There's a lot to see in the state of Colorado. And a great place to camp. You know, if you like to just put up a tent and stay with your family or with friends and enjoy the scenery, Colorado is a great choice. There are so many national parks. We talked about American national parks a while ago, but as you can see, there are these huge parks, and there are many of them located right in the state of Colorado. And we're going to take a look at a few of those right now. They're all very different. This one is really cool. This is the Dinosaur National Monument. It's a place where they found the bones of these ancient dinosaurs. And you can go and visit this place and see the bones that are in the rocks. You know, they're still there after all of these thousands and thousands and thousands of years. Like this. I mean, it's really cool. They're the bones, and they're in the rocks, and you can visit them and see what they look like. They're skeletons. And then, of course, the Native Americans that lived there many, many thousands of years ago, they drew pictures of many things that they saw on the rocks. It's a really amazing national park to visit. Another one is called Mesa Verde, and in Spanish, that means a mesa, a flat mountain, mesa, and verde in Spanish is green. So think green on top of a flat mountain, and that's what you see here. You see these green trees out in the desert, and these are the homes that they built at the top of this mesa into the side of this cliff. And they've turned it into a national park to preserve it so that people can come and take tours and see this place. So this is really ancient. This goes back more than 1,200 years ago. So yeah, it's pretty old. Another amazing canyon is the Black Canyon National Park. And it's not as big as Grand Canyon, because I think most of you have seen pictures of that. But it's pretty impressive, and it's absolutely a gorgeous place to go and go hiking and take a river raft down this river. You can actually have there are companies that will take you on a special boat, a raft, and take you down this river right through the canyon. So pretty special stuff. And then another one that's just so bizarre. Great sand dunes. In English, we call this sand dune, a big mountain of sand. And there's a place in Colorado where you have these enormous sand dunes right in the middle of the mountains. And of course, just amazing scenery. The state parks and national parks of the country, and particularly of the state of Colorado, are absolutely.
How it can be like mountains, forest, and desert, or how does it?
Yeah,
go?
desert. Yeah,
desert.
Yeah,
Desert.
perfect.
How? It's incredible.
It's amazing. You know what?
Yeah.
I can sort of answer that question, but it's still mostly a mystery to me. But what happens with really tall mountains, right, is when the weather comes from the west, and it rains. So because it forces the clouds up to go up in altitude. And when that happens, it rains. So the west side of all these mountains in Washington, Colorado, California, all these western states, the west side of the mountains look like this. Oh, beautiful. Trees, green, snow, wow. The other side, when the rain is all done, the other side is a desert. The east side is a desert. We have that in Washington, Oregon, Colorado, California, New Mexico, Wyoming. All of these western states have that. Mountains, beautiful trees, gorgeous, wow, and then desert on the other side. Yeah, they call it a rain shadow. A rain shadow, which is a great term, a great description for that. So yeah, so this is definitely the west side. And then that previous picture, this is the east side of these mountains. And it's a rain shadow where they get almost no rain at all. And so you end up with a desert. Yeah, really interesting. So yeah, so that's what's happening. And next week, as I told you about, I am traveling. I am going, flying back to the state of Arizona. And we're going to go see this house that we bought and start getting ready to move. So unfortunately, I won't be able to be on the call next week, but I hope I can start them again at some point. And Christy, of course, I'll let you know.
I will make an advertisement for everybody. Yeah.
And this is what it looks like in Arizona. You know, this is Elena, as you were saying about desert. Wow, this is real desert, you know, with the cactus and this is the real thing. And so that's where I'm gonna go. I'll be traveling there next week.
Take a picture of your new house. We'll wait.
I will.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And we also have a question in the chat. So
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for checking that.
Svetlana texted us how much you travel and how many states you visited.
Oh, that's a good question. So in the United States, I have visited 49 states out of 50. Yeah. I still haven't visited Hawaii for some reason, you know, the island country or the island state. I just haven't visited there. And, you know, I really should. But I'm also, as some of you know, I also love to ride my bicycle. And I've done a lot of long bicycle trips in my life, including riding my bicycle all the way across the country. I've ridden my bicycle from the West Coast all the way across the United States to the East Coast. And I've done that 3 times. And in the process of doing that, I've been to a lot of states on my bicycle. So I've visited every state. I've actually ridden my bicycle in, 43 different states. So, yeah.
Do you usually travel with your family or alone?
It depends. My wife she likes to ride a bike, but not that far. She says, you go have fun. I'll see you at the end. So normally it's with groups, you know, groups of other bicycle riders, you know, other crazy people like me. So we go on these long trips. To ride across the United States is 7 weeks, and that's riding 140 kilometers each day.
Wow.
Yeah.
I guess you're really a healthy man. because it's cool. It's really cool.
Well, you know, I'm turning 70 next week, or next month. I turn 70 next year, actually. So I'm trying to keep fit as I get older, and I enjoy it. It's good exercise. And so to answer the other question, how much travel I do, before the pandemic, I've visited a lot of countries, and many of them I've done bicycle rides in. I think it's 43 countries I've been to. I think. Yeah.
Amazing.
So
it's really cool. And when you started to travel so a lot, after, like, from what age, I mean?
Yeah. So most of it was after I retired, you know, honestly. When I was working and we had a family, it was harder to travel. You know, we were busy with the family and having to go to work every day. But I was able to retire a long time ago. I was very lucky. I had a good job, and I was able to retire. Let's see, it's been 21 years. I retired 21 years ago. So yeah, I've had a lot of time, and it's been great. And of course, a lot of that time has been in Ukraine. So,
it's a great number of countries and states and cities you've been for these 21 years.
Yeah, a lot of places, and some of them are pretty interesting. I mean, I've been to China, I've been to Vietnam, I've been to Thailand, Malaysia, you know, all Southeast Japan, of course. And then, of course, all throughout Europe. Oh, I've been pretty much everywhere in Europe, and, you know, Central South America. So yeah, I've been a few places. I've been lucky.
Yeah. And I'm really proud of your people. I mean, people who live in the United States, because all of you, most of you, I guess, very active, especially after middle age, how to say, because you have more free time and you don't spend time like watching TV. You go somewhere, you take some emotion, you travel. It's amazing because in our country, a little bit different situation with age.
We're very lucky here. I try not to forget how fortunate, how lucky we are to have that ability to retire, to have a little extra money in the bank, and to be able to travel. We're extremely fortunate to be able to do that.
Yeah.
But thank you. Yeah. Yeah, and there are other questions. Christy, do you see any others here?
We have no question in chat, but maybe somebody wants to ask some.
Yeah, any other questions?
Girls, boys, one boy, yeah?
Yes, I have one question maybe.
Yay!
I want to ask you why there are so many hospitals for children in Colorado. Is it mean that there are children with some, I don't know, diseases, illnesses, difficult?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. So they have this enormous hospital with many buildings, right? And the buildings are all for different kinds of treatment. So they might have a cancer building.
Yes.
They might have a broken legs and broken arms, building. So they have different buildings for different treatment. But your question is a good one. Do kids get sick there a lot? Well, it's actually a hospital for 6 states. It's not just for Colorado or for Denver. So children travel there from a big area. So it would be like 6 states with the population. It would be like a population of maybe 30 million people. Okay.
Yes,
So right. So with 30 million people, well, you're going to get some kids who are sick. You're going to have kids who need special care. And as many of you know, children sometimes need a special doctor. They need special trained medical people to deal with those childhood medical issues. And so, when you're 6 years old, you have different problems than when you're 60 years old. And so that's why they've created this enormous hospital. And it is, as you saw, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable what they do there. But they're specialists. They're really good at working with kids with serious medical problems. If you just have you get sick or you have maybe a broken arm or something, you don't go there. You don't travel that distance. This is only for kids who are really needing special care, and that's what Chris does. Chris is a children's doctor. That's what he is. Our son is focused on treating problems for little kids. So that's what he does. Does that answer your question, Kate?
Yes, and parents of these children, how much they must pay for it?
Yeah. So in America, most
maybe
people...
this hospital can give I don't know, cash aid, maybe aid.
Yeah, absolutely. So the hospital has a place for the parents to stay. They have special rooms so the parents can stay near their children. So really cool. And then on top of that, in America, we have this thing called health insurance. Maybe you've read about it. It's very expensive. It's a big expense. If you live in America, oh, wow, it's expensive. However, when you have it, that pays for these sorts of facilities. It pays for you to go. If you get sick, the insurance company will pay for your treatment at the hospital. So that's how you do it.
Parent to do everything for child.
Yeah.
It will be healthy.
Yeah, it's a big thing.
Yes, it doesn't matter how much it costs. Yes.
Right. It doesn't matter. Whatever it takes, right? You want your child to be healthy. So it's great that that Denver is sort of the largest city in those 6 states. You know, those 6 states are not, they're big states, but not a big population. So Denver was the perfect place to put this hospital. You know, let's put it in Denver, and then they can, you know, Americans fly. We fly everywhere. You know, it's a big country, so we're always flying. So let's fly to Denver, great big airport in Denver, huge airport. Fly to Denver, and then right to the hospital, and then they can care for the kids at the hospital.
And what about insurance? If it works like for a year, or how long it works, this insurance?
As long as you pay for it. I mean, if you pay, you know, most people pay for it each month. You know, you pay a certain amount each month. And I mean, you know, 95% of Americans have health insurance. You know, most people have it. And so when you have this insurance, if you never use it, great, you know, great, good for you. You know, but if you get sick, or if you have a health problem, then the insurance pays for it. Mm-hmm.
As I know, company also usually pay for insurance.
Yeah, right. You're right. Many companies, that's one of the benefits. So you get your salary, you get your paycheck, but you also get usually health insurance, and also they contribute to your retirement, your pension. You know? So, and the company that I worked for many years ago did that. So they paid health insurance, they paid for my retirement pension, and it was great. It was just great. So that allowed me to retire, you know, when I was much younger. Yeah.
And what about your son? What is the specialization? Your son is doctor in Denver, yes?
Yeah.
And what is the specialization of his job?
Yeah.
Doctor, it's like very big city.
Oh, yeah. Lots of different. So he's really good. I'll use some medical terms and then I'll try to define them. But he does what they call just after the babies are born. I'll tell you that. So really small kids, you know, really little babies.
Baby.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. It's an amazing place. I mean, you saw those pictures. You know, I'll go back to it. Just you look at the buildings that they have, and you just can't believe it. You can't believe it's all part of the same hospital. Here we go. Let's go back to that picture.
Like a city, not like a
right. It's like a city. You just can't believe that this is all one hospital. You know. So yeah, it's a special place. And Chris and Jen have both worked there for a long time now. I guess about maybe 15 years, and they love it. They absolutely love working there, as you can imagine. Yeah.
You can just imagine.
Yeah, unbelievable. You're right. It's like a city. It's an amazing place.
And it's
pretty cool place to see.
Oh.
Great. Well, are there any other questions? These have been great questions this morning, right, Christy? Wow, super.
Active, very active group today.
Absolutely. Okay, well, great. Well, if not, then I will thank you. Thanks everybody for joining the call this morning. It's been delightful to see everybody and to see your smiling faces.
And thank you also very much for this interesting information and your, how to say, you are very emotional and kind person for this call. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. That's very kind of you. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Today, it's very interesting.
Yeah.
Great. And thanks for joining. And I hope I can start these again in a few weeks, you know, after we get done with all this moving and crazy stuff. Yeah, we'll get these started again.
We wish you a great travel, like amazing travel.
Thank you. Yes, it's going to be a very busy month or two.
You will show us your trip and your new.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm going to take pictures.
Yeah.
And
so we will wait you. We will wait you to listen your experience.
Yeah. It'll be great. I'm going to take a lot of pictures, and yeah, we'll have a few stories to tell, I'm sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you. I will announce everybody.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Christy.
Have a good day today.
Okay. Okay.
Bye.
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 Bye.